Most people do not realize this. Angry people are not really fighting you. They are fighting for understanding. And almost every response we give makes the fire burn hotter. When someone raises their voice, we raise our guard. When someone criticizes us, we rush to defend ourselves. When someone lashes out, we feel attacked, and we strike back, if not with our words, then at least in our thoughts. We walk away from these encounters tense, hurt, and puzzled, asking, why did it get so bad so quickly? Yet the truth is, much of the time, we accidentally pour oil on the fire we are trying to put out. Think for a moment about your own life. A customer snaps at you across a counter. Their tone is sharp, their words unfair. In an instant, your own temperature rises. Perhaps you answer with cold politeness, or you argue, or you match their tone without meaning to. The result is nearly always the same. You lose the customer, and they walk away angrier than when they came. Or consider your home. A partner or spouse says, you never listen, or you don't care how I feel. Those words sting. Before you even realize it, you are answering. That's not true. I do listen. What about everything I've done? The evening that could have been a time of rest and closeness becomes a battlefield. No one wins. Both feel wronged. Both feel alone, and the house grows cold and silent. Then there's the workplace. A coworker, under pressure, vents frustration at you. Perhaps they say, you're late again, or you made my job harder. Instead of hearing the stress behind the words, you hear an accusation and retreat into silence, or answer with sarcasm. Trust, which took months or years to build, can be cracked in a few heated minutes. And in many families, there is at least one voice that explodes more often than the others, a parent, a sibling, a child. They speak harshly, slam doors, say things they later regret. The rest of the family walks on eggshells, feeling hurt, misunderstood, and tired. The angry one feels exactly the same way. Each outburst buries everyone further in a sense of not being heard. If you look closely at all these situations, you will notice a common thread. Anger does not only come from what happened, it comes from what people feel that no one is seeing. Behind the raised voice, there is often hurt. Behind the harsh words, there is often fear. Behind the criticism, there is often a simple cry. Do you understand me at all? Here is the great tragedy. Anger escalates because both sides feel misunderstood. The one who is angry thinks, you are not hearing how much this matters to me. The one who receives the anger thinks, you are not seeing how unfair you are being to me. Each is shouting, out loud or silently, you don't understand. And instead of reaching for understanding, they reach for defense, argument, blame, or escape. We try all kinds of responses. We argue with the facts. We correct their tone. We tell them to calm down. We point out how unreasonable they are being. We explain our side in great detail. Almost none of this quiets the storm. Why? Because none of it gives the person what they are actually fighting for. Acknowledgement that their feelings make sense to them. I have watched this pattern in homes, offices, shops, and classrooms. I have seen friendships end and marriages crack because in the crucial moment, each person chose to win instead of understand. It is not that they were bad people. They simply did what most of us do when we feel threatened. We protect ourselves. And in doing so, we withdraw the one thing that could heal the moment, simple, honest recognition of the other person's emotion. The good news is that it does not have to continue this way. You do not need a degree in psychology to calm an angry person. You do not need a powerful personality, a sharp tongue, or clever arguments. In fact, those things often get in the way. What you need is a different reflex, a way of responding that tells the other person, I see that this matters to you, before you try to prove anything else. In my work with thousands of men and women, I discovered something remarkable. One single response, simple, honest, and deeply human, can calm an angry person almost instantly. It does not work by overpowering them, but by giving them what they were reaching for all along, the feeling of being understood. This response does not require brilliance, persuasion, or force. It requires only that you step out of the fight for a moment and step into their world. When you do, the very thing that could have turned into a bitter argument can instead become a bridge to greater trust. In this talk, I will show you that response. I will show you why it works, how to say it, and how to carry yourself when you use it at work, at home, and with anyone whose anger you face. If you have ever walked away from an argument wishing you had handled it differently, stay with me. One small change in the way you answer anger can make a very large change in the way people feel around you. Over the years, watching quarrels in homes, arguments in offices, and complaints in classrooms, I found that nothing dissolves anger faster than giving a person what they are really fighting for: recognition of their feelings. Most people believe they are arguing about facts about who is right, who is wrong, what was said, what was done, but beneath all of that, there is nearly always a simpler question burning inside them. Does anyone see how this feels to me? This brings us to a very simple human law. People calm down when they feel heard, respected, and justified in having emotions, even strong ones. They do not need you to agree with everything they say. They do not even need you to admit that you are wrong. What they do need, before anything else, is to know that you are not treating their feelings as nonsense. On the other hand, anger intensifies when people feel dismissed, minimized, corrected, or argued with in the heat of the moment. When you tell an angry person you're overreacting, they hear, your feelings are invalid. When you say, that's not what happened, before you have heard them out, they hear, your experience doesn't matter. When you rush into explanations and justifications, they hear, I care more about my image than about your pain. You have felt this yourself. Think of a time when you were upset and someone told you, calm down. Did you calm down? Likely not. You felt more alone. Or a time when you tried to explain your frustration and the other person immediately replied, yes, but, and began to defend themselves. Your body tightened, your voice rose, and the conversation spiraled. It was not because you were unreasonable, but because you sensed they are not listening. They are protecting themselves. Once I understood this, I began to experiment with a different kind of response. One that does not argue, does not correct, does not defend, but does something far more powerful. It acknowledges. The response is this: I can see this matters to you. Help me understand what's happening. Let us look at it piece by piece. I can see this matters to you. Those words are a small bridge. You are not saying, you are right. You are not saying, I agree with everything you're saying. You are simply saying, your emotion is real, and I see it. That alone is rare. Most people, when faced with anger, try to push the feeling away. It's not a big deal. You're overreacting, or they ignore it entirely. You are doing the opposite. You are shining a little light on it. You are saying, this is important to you, and I acknowledge that. Help me understand. With these words, you invite the other person to shift roles. Up to this point, they have been attacking, accusing, or venting. Now you are quietly asking them to explain. You are no longer standing as an opponent, but as a listener. You are saying, I am willing to see this through your eyes. It is very difficult for someone to continue attacking a person who is sincerely asking to understand them. What's happening? This final part gently moves their mind from pure emotion toward clarity. Instead of staying in vague statements, you never care, everything is wrong, this is ridiculous, you are inviting them to put into words what is actually going on. As they do, they often hear themselves more clearly too. Feelings that were boiling start to take shape, and once they take shape, they are easier to work with. This simple sentence, I can see this matters to you, help me understand what's happening, does three things at once. It validates, it invites, and it clarifies. It tells the person, you are not crazy for feeling this way. I am willing to listen, and let us see what this is really about. Let me give you a few everyday examples. You are in customer service. A customer comes to the counter angry. Their voice is sharp. I've been waiting for 30 minutes. This is ridiculous. Your instinct might be to say, sir, we're very busy. You'll have to be patient. Or, it hasn't been 30 minutes. That will almost certainly make things worse. Instead, you take a breath and say, I can see this matters to you. Help me understand what's happened so far. The customer now has a chance to tell the story. As they speak, they feel less like an enemy and more like a person being helped. Their tone begins to soften. You are now on the same side solving a problem instead of on opposite sides, trading blame. Or consider a partner at home, upset about chores or finances. They say, you never help around here, or you don't take this seriously. The natural response is defense. That's not true. I did this and that. And suddenly, you are reciting a list of your contributions. The argument grows. Try instead. I can see this really matters to you. Help me understand what feels unfair right now. You have not admitted guilt. You have opened a door. Very often, they will say, I just feel alone in this. Or, I'm scared we're falling behind. Now, you are not fighting about dishes or bills. You are talking about loneliness and fear. That is a very different conversation. At work, a coworker under deadlines might snap. You're late with your part, and now I'm stuck. You could fire back. Well, you didn't give me clear instructions, or you're not the only one who's busy. That would keep the wheel of resentment turning. Instead, you might say, I can see this is stressing you. Help me understand what you need from me right now. The tone changes. They tell you specifically what the pressure is, the meeting, the boss, the timeline. You move from clash to collaboration. Even with a friend who feels ignored, someone who says, you don't care anymore, or you never reach out, you can respond, I can see this has been bothering you. Help me understand how you've been feeling. Rather than arguing about how many messages were sent, you step into their shoes for a moment. They explain feeling left out, forgotten, less important. You may not agree with every detail, but you have gained something much more valuable, a window into their heart. In every one of these cases, you did not win by overpowering the other person. You won by removing the need for battle. You gave them the one thing anger almost always seeks but rarely receives, understanding. This response is not magic. It must be spoken sincerely. It must be followed by real listening, not by a hidden plan to say this and then crush their argument. But when it comes from a genuine desire to see the world through their eyes, it has a remarkable effect. The moment a person feels understood, they no longer need to fight. If you wish to use this response with real power, you must prepare something that no one else can see, your inner attitude. Many people try to learn the right words, but keep the wrong spirit. They say the sentence, but carry the old reflex. And the old reflex is simple. This person is attacking me. The first inner shift is to stop assuming that anger is always a personal attack. Sometimes it is, but very often it is simply a signal of an unmet need, a fear, a pressure, or a hurt that has not been given a voice. When someone is angry, they may be speaking to you, but the real target is their own frustration, exhaustion, or pain. So instead of thinking, why are they doing this to me? Ask yourself, what would I feel if I were in their place? This question does not excuse bad behavior, but it opens a little window inside your own heart. It moves you from being a target to being an observer and, eventually, a helper. Before you say anything at all, begin to observe. Notice their tone. Is it sharp with frustration? Shaky with hurt? Loud with fear? Listen to their body as much as their words. Are their shoulders tight? Are their hands clenched? Are they pacing or pulling away? Ask yourself quietly, what emotion is behind this anger? Is it fear of losing something? Is it stress from too many demands? Is it the frustration of feeling unseen or disrespected? When you look for the emotion beneath the anger, you are less likely to answer with your own. Now let us speak of the outer behavior, the micro skills that either calm or inflame a moment. When someone is angry, your own body wants to tense up. You may feel your jaw tighten, your chest lift, your arms cross. These are all signs that you are preparing to defend. Instead, do the opposite. Keep your voice low and steady. Lower your shoulders, uncross your arms, face the person with an open posture, not looming over them, not turning completely away, but showing with your body that you are not there to strike. Slight nodding can help. It does not mean you agree with every word. It means, I am listening. The human nervous system takes many of its cues from the other person's body. If you stay calm, you give their body permission to calm down too. Another powerful tool is the deliberate pause. When they finish a surge of words, do not jump in instantly. Breathe once. Let a second or two pass. That pause is like putting space between the spark and the dry leaves. It keeps the fire from leaping instantly from their anger to your reaction. Let me lay out a simple, step-by-step guide you can carry in your mind. Step 1. Let them finish the first burst. Most angry people have a first wave of emotion. If you interrupt it, they will feel unheard and only start again, louder. So allow them to say their first sentences. You do not have to agree. You simply allow the wave to reach the shore. Step 2. Maintain a calm posture. Keep your body open, your hands relaxed, your voice quiet. Look at them. Not at the floor, not at your watch, not at your phone. You are saying, without words, I am here. I am not running. I am not attacking. Step 3. Look them in the eye briefly. You do not need to stare. That can feel aggressive. A brief, steady look says, I see you. It is a small human connection in the middle of a heated moment. Step 4. Say the response slowly. Now you speak. I can see this matters to you. Help me understand what's happening. Do not rush the sentence. Let each part land. I can see this matters to you. Short pause. Help me understand. Short pause. What's happening? You want them to feel that you mean it. Step 5. Stay silent. Let them talk. This may be the hardest part. After you invite them to explain, do not argue, do not correct, do not rush in with your side. You have opened a door. Now you must step aside and let them walk through it. As they speak, you can occasionally nod or say a simple, I see, or go on, but your main task is to listen. This sequence, absorbing the wave, staying calm, offering the sentence, and then listening can transform a quarrel into a conversation. Of course, there are several common mistakes that destroy this process. The first is telling someone to calm down. Those two words almost never bring calm. They often have the opposite effect. What the person hears is, your feelings are a problem, which only makes them feel more misunderstood. The second mistake is arguing with facts while emotions are at their peak. You may be perfectly correct in your memory of events, but if you begin with, that's not what happened, you will only convince them that you care more about winning than about understanding. The third mistake is using sarcasm. A rolled eye, a mocking tone, a clever remark. These may feel satisfying for a moment, but they stab at the other person's dignity. When someone already feels hurt or disrespected, sarcasm is salt in the wound. Another mistake is trying to win. In anger, many people slip into a silent contest. Who will give in first? Who will admit fault? Who will be proved right? You may win the argument and lose the relationship. You may win the point and lose their trust. Finally, do not take every angry word as a precise statement of truth about you. People often say clumsy, exaggerated, or unfair things when they are upset. If you build your identity around their worst sentence in their worst moment, you will suffer far more than necessary. Ask instead, what is the emotion underneath this? And answer that. This does not mean you accept every behavior or give up all boundaries. There are times when you must firmly state, I want to talk about this, but not with shouting, or even remove yourself from truly abusive situations. But in most ordinary conflicts, what people need is not our perfection. It is our willingness to understand. If you practice this inner ritual and these small outer skills, you will begin to notice something. People will come to see you as a calming presence. They may still get angry, but around you, the anger does not travel as far. You become, quietly, the person in the room who can turn heat into light. People do not calm down because you corrected them. They calm down because you connected with them. Let us now step out of theory and walk into a few ordinary days. You will see how a single response can change the direction of an entire interaction. Scene 1. Workplace conflict. Imagine an office late in the afternoon. The air is heavy with deadlines. Papers on desks, phones ringing, people moving quickly. An employee has been working hard, but a report is late. The boss walks in, already under pressure, and says sharply, "Why isn't this finished yet? I've been asking for this all week." Before, the usual way. The employee feels the sting in those words. Inside, he thinks, doesn't he see everything else I've been doing? This isn't fair. His face tightens, and he answers in a clipped tone, "Well, you keep changing the priorities. I can't do everything at once." Now the boss feels attacked. He raises his voice. "I'm not interested in excuses. I need results." The employee crosses his arms. He stops listening. For the rest of the day, he does his work, but with resentment. The boss walks away muttering, "He's not reliable. Trust is weakened. The task may get done, but the relationship is damaged." After using the response. Now let us replay the same moment with a different inner attitude. The boss comes in and says, "Why isn't this finished yet? I've been asking for this all week." The words are the same. The tone is the same. But this time, the employee remembers. Anger is often pressure and fear in disguise. He takes a breath, keeps his shoulders relaxed, and answers, "I can see this really matters to you. Help me understand what's happening on your side with this report." The room feels different already. The boss blinks, a little surprised. He is no longer being argued with. He is being invited to explain. He sighs and says, "I've got a meeting with the director tomorrow morning. She's been asking for these numbers, and if I show up without them, it reflects badly on both of us." Now the employee sees more clearly. The boss is not simply attacking. He is under pressure. The employee says, "I understand. Let me show you where I am with the report, and we can decide what's most important to finish before tomorrow. They move from confrontation to cooperation. The situation has not changed, the report is still late, but the emotional climate has. Instead of two people fighting, you have two people solving. What happens psychologically? Anger was an expression of unmet emotion, fear of failure, pressure from above. Validation. I can see this really matters to you. Turned aggression into explanation. Understanding, help me understand what's happening on your side. Turned conflict into teamwork. Scene 2. Argument in a relationship. Now let us visit a home in the evening. Two people are sitting at a table. One has had a long day. The other has been waiting for help that never quite came. Tiredness and disappointment sit between them like an invisible third guest. Before, the usual way. The partner who feels neglected finally snaps. You never listen to me. I tell you I need help, and you just nod and then do nothing. The other feels accused and instantly replies, That's not true. I did the dishes, I picked up the kids, I fixed the car. You always exaggerate. You see, the first says, louder now, you only defend yourself. You never hear me. And you only complain. The second fires back. Voices rise. Old grievances come out. The original issue, feeling unsupported, gets buried under a pile of accusations. They go to bed angry, back to back, each thinking, you don't understand me at all. After using the response, now imagine the same moment, but one of them decides to practice a new way. You never listen to me, the partner says, eyes filled with frustration. I tell you I need help, and you just nod and then do nothing. The words still hurt. The first impulse is still to say, that's not true. But instead, there is a pause, a breath, and then, I can see this really matters to you. Help me understand what you've been feeling. Those few words are like opening a window in a stuffy room. The partner's shoulders drop a little. The anger softens just enough to let hurt show through. I feel alone, they say. I feel like I'm carrying everything and you don't see it. I'm tired. Now the conversation is no longer about never and always. It is about loneliness and exhaustion. The other can respond. I don't want you to feel alone. I may have missed things. Tell me where it feels heaviest for you, and let's see what I can take on. Again, the facts have not changed. There is still work to be done. But instead of an explosion, there is a bridge. What happened psychologically? Anger was the surface, hurt was underneath. Validation, I can see this really matters to you, assured the partner that their feelings were not being dismissed. The invitation, help me understand what you've been feeling, transformed attack into sharing. Understanding began to turn conflict into closeness. Scene 3. Customer or stranger upset. Finally, picture a shop or a service desk. A stranger approaches, already irritated by delays, confusion, or a bad day. Before, the usual way, the customer says sharply, This is the third time I've had to come here. Nobody fixes anything. This place is useless. The person behind the counter feels the injustice of that. They answer coldly, Sir, that's not our fault. You should have called first. There are procedures. The customer hears only resistance and excuses. Their voice gets louder. I don't care about your procedures. I just want this fixed. Others begin to look. Both sides feel embarrassed and angry. The situation may end with a manager called bad reviews, or at least a very bad taste for everyone. After, using the response. Now let us try a different approach. The customer storms in. This is the third time I've had to come here. Nobody fixes anything. This place is useless. The clerk feels the same impulse to defend the company, to explain the system, but instead they breathe and say, I can see this has been really frustrating for you. Help me understand what's happened so far. The customer, expecting an argument, finds an open door instead. Their tone loses a little of its edge. I've taken time off work 3 times to come here, they say. Every time someone tells me something different, I feel like nobody cares whether this actually gets solved. Now the clerk can respond in a different spirit. Thank you for telling me. Let's go through it together from the beginning, and I'll see what I can do to get this resolved. The issue might still take time to fix, but the emotional temperature has dropped. The customer feels acknowledged, not fought. Many difficult situations can be saved, and even turned into loyalty, by that first moment of understanding. What happened psychologically? Anger was an expression of being disrespected and inconvenienced. Validation. I can see this has been really frustrating for you. Met that wound. The invitation to explain helped me understand what's happened so far. Redirected the energy from accusation to information. Understanding allowed both to work together instead of against each other. In each of these scenes, anger began as a flash of pain, pressure, or fear. Left unchecked, it would have grown into blame and distance. But a simple recognition, I can see this matters to you. Help me understand what's happening. Change the path. Anger is an expression of unmet emotion. Validation turns aggression into explanation. Understanding turns conflict into cooperation. When you create safety, people stop fighting and start speaking. Let us bring all of this together. If you look back at the moments in your life when anger turned into arguments, you will notice a pattern. The explosion happened not because of the facts, but because someone felt misunderstood. When a person believes their feelings are unseen or dismissed, their voice rises, their body tightens, and their words strike harder than they mean to. And when we respond with defense or correction, we deepen the very wound that caused the anger in the first place. But now you have seen something different. You have seen how one simple response, gentle, sincere, and rooted in human understanding, can disarm that tension almost instantly. You have seen how it shifts people from attacking to explaining, from fighting to speaking, from shutting down to opening up, and you have seen that the real power in these moments does not come from winning, but from understanding. You may have seen yourself as someone who freezes or fights back when anger appears. But you can become someone who brings calm wherever you go. These are not qualities reserved for saints or heroes. They are learned habits, habits of awareness, of patience, of choosing to understand before you insist on being understood. Any person, including you, can develop them with practice. And so, I invite you to adopt a new identity when you step into moments of conflict. Say to yourself, I am someone who turns anger into understanding, not by force, not by fear, but by recognizing that every angry outburst is a signal flare from someone who feels alone in their emotion. To help you strengthen this identity, here are a few simple affirmations, short sentences you can repeat until they become part of your nature. Anger is softened by understanding. It reminds you that emotions melt when they are acknowledged. I respond, I do not react. It helps you choose composure over impulse. I calm situations by helping people feel seen. It reminds you that your presence can be a source of peace, not fuel for the fire. Now, let us bring this into your daily life. Your practice begins today, not tomorrow. At some point in the next 24 hours, you will meet irritation, perhaps in a coworker, a friend, a partner, or even a stranger. When that moment comes, try the sentence you have learned. I can see this matters to you. Help me understand what's happening. Use it once. Only once. You do not need to master it instantly. You simply need to try it and observe what changes the other person's tone, your own heartbeat, the whole direction of the moment. You may be surprised by how different the world feels when you begin conflict with understanding instead of defense. Before you go, I would like to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, where are you from? How old are you? And in what area of your life do you want more piecework, family, relationships, or friendships? And if you want to learn the timeless human skills that make people trust you, open up to you, and feel calmer in your presence, subscribe. Together, we will keep exploring the simple, powerful principles that allow you to bring out the best in yourself and in everyone you meet.